When I started my English learning journey, I never imagined it would change the way I see the world. Back then, I wasn't fluent, not even confident enough to speak a full sentence without hesitation. Every word felt heavy. Every mistake felt like a wall between me and the world I wanted to reach. But today, when I look back, I realize something powerful. It wasn't a course, or a teacher, or even a grammar book that made me fluent. It was habits. Simple, small, daily habits, practiced again and again, that slowly built the person I am now. You see, fluency doesn't happen overnight. It's not magic. It's discipline and patience, shaped one small step at a time. So, in this story, I'll share with you 7 daily habits that changed everything for me, and maybe they can change everything for you too. Let's start. The first habit, I call it the morning mirror talk. Every morning, before doing anything else, I stood in front of the mirror. No phone, no distractions, just me and my reflection. At first, it was weird. I felt silly talking to myself in English, but that's the point. I wanted to make English feel normal. I started small. Just, "Good morning, Jai. How are you today?" Then slowly, I added more. "What's your plan for today? What are you grateful for? What do you want to improve this week?" In the beginning, my pronunciation was broken, my sentences short, my confidence shaky. But every single day, I got better. Not because I was perfect, but because I was consistent. You see, when you talk to yourself in English, something magical happens. Your brain starts believing, this language belongs to you. You stop fearing judgment. You stop waiting for someone else to validate your words. You begin to trust your own voice. And that's when confidence quietly enters. Not suddenly, but like sunlight after a long fog. So yes, my first habit, mirror talk, every morning for 10 minutes. No excuses, just conversation with yourself. The second habit, think in English. Now, this one took time. At first, my thoughts came in my native language and I had to translate everything. It was exhausting, but necessary. I remember walking to the bus stop thinking, okay, let me try thinking in English now. I'd describe what I saw. The sun is bright today. The street is quiet. That shop looks new. Slowly, my brain began to adapt. Thinking in English changed my reaction speed. When someone spoke to me, I didn't have to translate in my head. I could respond naturally, and that, my friend, is when fluency begins. You don't realize it, but when your mind starts living in English, speaking it becomes effortless. So, start small. 1 thought a day, then 2, then an entire hour of your inner world in English. You'll make mistakes. I made hundreds. But every mistake is a sign that your brain is working, that it's learning, that it's growing. Third habit, the 20-minute reading ritual. Every evening, no matter how tired I was, I read just 20 minutes. It could be anything, a short story, a news article, a motivational post. But I made sure it was something I enjoyed. Because here's the truth. You can't build a relationship with a language if it feels like punishment. You must fall in love with it. Let it inspire you, move you, surprise you. Sometimes I'd read out loud, letting my tongue dance with each new word. Sometimes I'd pause, whisper a line again, just to feel its rhythm. That's how I learned new words naturally, not through memorization, but through experience, through emotion. When a sentence touched me, I wrote it down. I didn't just learn it, I felt it. You see, fluency isn't only about vocabulary, it's about connection. When you read with emotion, the language becomes alive within you. Habit 4. Shadow listening. This one changed my accent and rhythm completely. I used to listen to short English audios, podcasts, or movie dialogues. I'd play one sentence, pause, and repeat it exactly like the speaker, not just the words, but the tone, the pauses, the energy. It felt like singing a song with someone else. At first I sounded robotic, but slowly my voice started to align with theirs, natural, confident, expressive. It's a secret technique used by actors, language learners, even public speakers. And trust me, if you practice this for just 10 minutes a day, you'll start sounding like a native speaker sooner than you expect. You'll not only understand English, you'll feel it. You'll hear emotion behind every phrase. And the best part, you'll never be afraid of speaking again, because your tongue and brain will already be trained to move in English rhythm. I remember the day someone said to me, "Wow, Jai, your English sounds natural. You must have lived abroad." And I smiled quietly, because I hadn't. I had only lived with English. Every single day, that was the real secret. Now, before we move ahead to the next habit, let me tell you something important. Consistency beats perfection. You don't need to do everything perfectly, you just need to show up. One day, your English will surprise you. You'll start speaking without fear. You'll start thinking without translating. You'll start writing without hesitation. And that's when you'll realize you're no longer learning English, you're living it. So take a deep breath and remember this. You already have everything you need inside you. All you have to do is begin. Because fluency isn't built in a day, it's built daily. There's something powerful that happens when you stop chasing fluency and start living it. Because language isn't just about words, it's about presence. About how you show up, how you listen, how you express. The fifth habit, it taught me that silence can be the most powerful part of learning. Every night before sleeping, I did one simple thing. I listened. No textbooks, no notes, no pressure to understand every single word. I'd just close my eyes and listen to English. Maybe a podcast, maybe a short story, or even just calming background talks in English. At first, I didn't get everything. My mind drifted away. Sometimes I caught a few words, sometimes just the feeling. But slowly, I started recognizing patterns, rhythms, phrases that came again and again, until they became a part of me. That's the thing. You don't learn language only with your eyes. You learn it with your ears. When you listen with patience, your brain starts absorbing naturally, like a child does. No grammar rules, no stress, just understanding through emotion and tone. Sometimes, the best way to learn is to stop trying so hard, to relax, and let the language flow through you. That nightly listening habit became my quiet teacher. It trained my ears, softened my accent, and helped me fall asleep peacefully, knowing that even while resting, my brain was still learning. Then came the sixth habit, writing for reflection. You see, speaking helps you express, listening helps you absorb, but writing helps you understand yourself. Every morning after my mirror talk, I'd take a notebook and just write. Not essays, not grammar-perfect sentences, just thoughts. How do I feel today? What made me smile? What did I learn yesterday? At first, my writing was messy. My tenses were wrong. My words were few, but it didn't matter. because I wasn't writing for marks. I was writing for me. And that's where growth truly happens. When you let your emotions guide your words, the language begins to express your soul. After a few weeks, I noticed something beautiful. I could write faster. My thoughts flowed more smoothly. Words came without force. It wasn't about learning English anymore. It was about feeling in English. That journal became my mirror on paper, and every page whispered, "You're getting better, Jai. You're growing." So if you're listening right now, and you want to know where to start with yourself. Write 1 line today, then 2 tomorrow. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be honest. Because honesty builds fluency. And that brings me to the 7th and most powerful habit, speaking with real people. Yes, this was the hardest one for me, because for a long time I was afraid of judgment, afraid of being laughed at, afraid of sounding wrong. But one day, I realized something that changed everything. No one cares as much as we think they do. Everyone is too busy with their own fears, their own imperfections. So I started small. I joined a few online language groups where people like me were learning. Sometimes we'd just introduce ourselves. Sometimes we'd talk about simple things, movies, food, dreams. And slowly, those strangers became my practice partners. It wasn't perfect. We made mistakes. We laughed. We corrected each other gently. And that's when English stopped feeling like a subject and started feeling like a connection. I began noticing something strange. When I spoke to people in English, I started understanding not just their words, but their emotions, their tone, their pauses, their laughter. That's when I realized English isn't just a language, it's a bridge. A bridge that connects hearts from different corners of the world. And one day, while speaking to someone online, I didn't even realize I'd been talking in English for almost 30 minutes. Non-stop. No hesitation, no translation, no fear, just flow. That day, I smiled quietly to myself because I knew this was fluency, not perfection, but freedom. Freedom to express, freedom to connect, freedom to be yourself in another language. You see, Jai of the past, he was afraid to even speak a few words. He believed fluency was for others, not for him. But the Jai today, he knows that small habits, done daily, can turn fear into fluency. Each of those habits, mirror talk, thinking in English, reading daily, shadow listening, night listening, journaling, and real conversation, they didn't just change my English, they changed me, because every habit carried something deeper: patience, courage, belief, curiosity, and love for learning. And here's what I want you to remember. If you practice even one of these habits daily, you will feel the difference in just a few weeks. Because language is energy, and the more you engage with it, the more it becomes yours. But the real transformation doesn't happen in your mouth or your memory. It happens in your mindset. When you stop saying, "I can't," and start whispering, "I'm trying," that's the day fluency begins. Because effort is the language the universe always understands. So tonight, before you sleep, ask yourself just one question. What's one small habit I can start tomorrow to make English my friend? And whatever your answer is, promise yourself you'll begin. Because even if you start small today, one day you'll look back and realize how far you've come. There was a time when I thought fluency meant speaking fast, using big words, sounding like a native speaker. But the truth came to me slowly, quietly, like the sound of rain outside my window. Fluency isn't about speed, it's about connection. It's about how deeply you can make someone feel what you're saying. And I learned that lesson the hard way. One evening I was talking to a friend online. He spoke slowly, simply, but his words carried something I couldn't ignore. Warmth, clarity, emotion. He wasn't trying to impress, he was trying to connect. And I realized that's what true communication is. It's not about showing how much you know. It's about helping someone understand you. That night I sat in silence for a long time. I asked myself, Jai, what's the point of learning English if you forget the reason behind it? You see, we all start somewhere. Some of us want to learn for jobs, some for travel, some to study abroad. But deep down, we all want to be heard. We want to express what's inside us without fear. We want to connect without translation. And that's why, when I built my 7 habits, I didn't just practice English, I practiced courage. Because every time I spoke, even when my words trembled, I was becoming stronger. So if you're listening now, and you've been afraid to start, this part is for you. Maybe you're scared people will laugh. Maybe you think you're too old or too late. But listen carefully. You're not. It's never too late to learn something beautiful. And language is one of the most beautiful things you can ever learn, because it's not just a tool, it's a doorway to new people, new stories, new versions of yourself. Do you know what happened to me after a few months of these habits? I stopped caring about making mistakes. I started caring about making progress. Sometimes, when I look back, I wonder how everything changed so quietly. There was no sudden moment, no miracle day when I woke up fluent. It just happened, slowly, like dawn replacing the darkness, one gentle ray at a time. And that's the truth I want you to hold close. Fluency isn't found in a single day of hard work. It's built through 1,000 small moments of courage, every hello you speak, every mistake you make, every time you try again. You are writing your own story of progress. When I think about it now, I don't remember the grammar rules I learned. I remember the feelings, the fear, the hope, the tiny victories. Like the first time someone said, "Your English is really good." And I smiled, not because they said it, but because deep inside I finally believed it. Fluency isn't a language skill, it's a mindset of trust. Trust that you are growing, even when you can't see it. So today, if you feel lost, if you feel stuck, I want you to whisper to yourself, "I'm on my way," because you are. Maybe your English isn't perfect yet, but your effort, your heart, your journey, they are all beautiful. Remember this, no one was born fluent. Everyone you admire once struggled just like you. And someday, someone will look at you and find their inspiration in your story. That's the power of learning. It connects us, one voice to another, one heart to the next. You know, every habit I built, it wasn't just about English. It was about discipline, about believing in small beginnings, about finding beauty in consistency. And if I could go back to that nervous, shy version of myself, I'd tell him, "Jai, don't rush it. Take your time. Speak slowly. Feel every word, because every word you speak with heart is worth more than 100 spoken with fear." And maybe that's what I want to tell you too. Don't chase perfection. Chase connection. Because English is not just a skill, it's a way to share who you are. So when you speak, speak gently. When you learn, learn with love. And when you fail, smile, because even failure is a sign of movement. You are not behind anyone. You are exactly where you're meant to be. And one day, your voice will carry confidence. Your sentences will flow. Your story will inspire others, just like this one inspired you. But until that day, keep practicing, keep smiling, keep showing up for yourself, because no one can learn English for you. Only you can, and you're already doing it, right here, right now. Take a deep breath. Feel that pride, because today, you're not just a learner, you're a communicator, a storyteller, a believer. And if this story touched your heart, leave a comment below. Tell me which habit you're starting from today, because your words might be the reason someone else begins tomorrow. And if you haven't already, hit that like button, share this video with someone who needs it, and subscribe to English Emporium, because together, we're not just learning English, we're building a community of voices that believe in growth. So, until next time, keep practicing, keep believing, and remember, every word you speak, every pause you take, is a step closer to your dream. And one day soon, you'll look back and realize you've already become the person you always wanted to be. Thank you for listening. This is Jai, and this was my story, how 7 daily habits made me fluent in English. Now it's your turn to begin yours.